Hello, beautiful community. Just a short reaction video to Tulsi Gabbard on the Chris Williamson show.
Who actually runs the government?
It's not even people who we vote for. When you look at what happened when President Biden had that infamous debate with President Trump, it exposed the reality that many of us have known for a long time, which is that President Biden has not been the guy calling the shots, nor has it been Kamala Harris, for that matter. It is this cabal of the Democrat elite, the woke warmongers made up of the likes of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Tony Blinken, and Jake Sullivan, and people who are in the military-industrial complex, people who profit from us being in a constant state of war. It is
enough. Here is the basic problem with what Tulsi is doing. You don't want to say something at such a vague level of generality that it's absolutely right if you say it, but it's also absolutely right if you say the very opposite of what you're saying. Yes, I can agree with Tulsi that in many ways the President of the United States doesn't run the show. I can also disagree with Tulsi and say that Biden absolutely runs the show. Now, I won't get into Biden's cognitive decline, which was denied by many of you for years in communication with me because of the polarization, right? You just stick to the narrative that's on your side. And I've been on the internet long before I was on the internet talking about Biden's decline, because even before I was regular on YouTube, I said it was unethical for him to run in 2020 for reasons of his cognitive decline. And I believe that I have two important qualifications to talk about this. My own cognitive decline, right? I wasn't able to talk, walk properly, read for years. I had to relearn to read and speak. Plus, I study politics. So on that basis, I can make a good judgment about the nature of Biden's decline. And the nature of Biden's decline is that he still was actually making the big decisions. That's to say, he was in severe decline communicatively. He could barely speak. But he was, and he is even today, when he's about to step away from power, a more practically efficacious politician than Barack Obama, whether you like his policy or not, but he's actually good at getting things done. And that's part of the cause of the arrogance that he tried to cling to power, partly because he was so drawn to power, but also was drawn to his own correct sense of his capacities around getting things done. You follow Ukraine with me so closely and Putin's brutal invasion. It's shocking how much the United States policy on Ukraine is a kind of inflection of Biden's political personality. So Biden, yes, he has cognitive decline, but also he is in charge. Yes, he was making decisions. So the story that Biden was just a sideshow is an elementary political misunderstanding. People like Joe Rogan say it all the time, but they just don't understand politics enough. They think that, if it's true that the decline is bad, it must be true that he's not making any decisions. The decline was bad and he was making all the decisions. And in fact, he was making the decisions almost as effectively, and more effectively than he would have made them if he were younger. So no to you if you've been a Biden cognitive decline denier, but also no to the alt-right who are wrongly claiming Biden has been in charge. Biden has been in charge. So I can say, yes, Tulsi, the president isn't in charge because it's a very institutionally complex democracy with great complexity, but also with great dysfunctionality, modes of corruption too. But I can also say the opposite. Biden is stunningly in charge. You don't want to be making political statements that are so vague that if you say the very opposite of them, it's just as compelling and just as true, right? You could argue that the leader of China is more powerful as a global figure than the leader of the United States, because he is more powerful in terms of how much he can control, right, all the agencies in the country. Could make that case, but however you cut it, Biden's been nearly the most powerful person in the world, for the last few years. So what's the real sickness that the way Tulsi speaks generates? It's that sickness whereby people find politics opaque. It's not just that she said something that I could flatly contradict and be equally right, which is to say it's irresponsibly vague. It's also that she's speaking directly into the conspiratorial perception that what really matters is the stuff you can't see. Who's running, Tulsi? The country. Who's running the country, Tulsi? Yeah, it's the people that are at the front, but then there's the stuff around the back, and it's sort of like it's a bit of this and a bit of that, but then you don't quite know, and then it's basically kind of a bit systemic here and there, and then I could name some names who are really running the show. What effectively she is saying, if I break it down, is the truth that matters is the truth that you can't see. And that's a conspiratorial way of sort of half saying something and half taking it back, that's conducive to a breakdown in constructive thought about politics, breakdown of cause and effect thought about politics into magical thinking. It creates a sense of opacity. Lost to their beautiful community. The gods that protect us from excessive grumpiness just cut me off. So why have I wasted 6 minutes of your life? I've wasted 6 minutes of your life because I think that sort of speech is speech you're very familiar with, right? Forget Tulsi Gabbard. You've heard that way of speaking about politics for a long time that I've just argued is, in emphasizing the importance of the thing you can never see, is a bit conspiratorial. And I would even say a bit post-truth, right? In sort of just breaking us out of cause and effect thinking and collapsing us into magical thought. So just extra awareness to that being much of the speech that surrounds us everywhere is healthy. I'm just getting a call coming through from the grumpiness police. I'm going to have to take that call and let you go, beautiful community.